want to welcome everybody who's here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. I'm Barbara Lubin from the Middle East Children's Alliance, and we have a great, great show tonight. What is all this? Somebody hear that I'm dying or something? You're going to be hearing from Norman Finkelstein, who is celebrating his new book, This Time They Went Too Far, Truth and Consequences of the Gaza Invasion. And you can buy that book outside in the lobby, and then you can bring it up here afterwards, and Norman will sign it. And we're very, very excited about having a great hip-hop artist from the UK and from Iraq, LowKey. Then we have another surprise for you, Jody McKintyre, who'll be showing his PowerPoint presentation about Gaza. Now, these three guys have been traveling together for the last 5 weeks. And everywhere they've been so well received, every single one of them. And I think we're so fortunate to have all of them here tonight. I want to thank everybody who made this evening possible, especially the staff at MECA, of course Penny Rosenwasser, and the entire MECA staff, Sophia, Deborah Ager, Ziad Abbas, Josie Shields-Stromsness, and Josh Sanchez from Alliance Graphics for doing all the wonderful graphics all of the time for MECA, and all of the volunteers, and all of our co-sponsors who help get the word out, especially KPFA, and also KALW. And just briefly, I'll tell you that the money from tonight's benefit is going to a project that MECA has in Gaza. Since the invasion a year ago, the brutal Israeli invasion into Gaza, we started a project, they started in Palestine a project called Let the Children Play and Heal. And we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but I did want you to know that. And now I want to introduce to you LowKey, who has been rapping since he was 12 years old. He's a British musician, poet, playwright, and political activist of English and Iraqi descent. In December 2009, LowKey revealed he would release a second part to Long Live Palestine, featuring international artists, including the Palestinian rap group DAM. The single reached the #1 position in the hip-hop charts of both Amazon and iTunes. And I'll let him tell you the rest of it himself. And before he comes out, I'm going to make 2 quick announcements. And one is that the film Slingshot Hip Hop will be playing May 21st, Friday at 7 p.m. at Fellowship Hall at Cedar and Bonita. Go see it. It's great. If you've seen it, go see it again. It's good for us. And an invitation to all people of conscience. Protest war crimes and UC complicity outside the 2010 Berkeley Law School graduation ceremony, Friday, May 14th, 2010, at the Greek Theater. So if you want more information, ask about it or take the brochure. Now, it gives me great pleasure to welcome LowKey.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you to MECA for inviting me. We are here today to discuss not only the massacre they refer to as Operation Castlet, but also, and equally as importantly, the Israeli-imposed, Egyptian-enforced, and American-supported siege on the people of Gaza. It has been estimated that the 22-day bombing campaign cost around 1,400 human lives in Gaza, but this siege is murdering human beings as we speak, silently. How many lives has this silent murder cost? When people are left with no choice but to cement together bombed and smashed bricks in order to rebuild something resembling their home, because bricks are not being allowed into Gaza, you know there is something seriously wrong with this picture. When young children are dying of treatable illnesses because the medicines are not being allowed into Gaza, you know there is something seriously wrong with this picture. And when there is something in Israeli law called the grandfather clause, a law which means that any human being who has one Jewish grandparent and can prove it can claim citizenship to Israel. Yet a person whose mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, great-great-great-grandmother, great-great-great-great-great-grandmother has lived in Jerusalem and can directly trace their lineage, not only has no nation, no citizenship, and no passport. There is something seriously wrong with that equation. Now, as a person with a British passport and citizenship to a country which not only is responsible for the Balfour Declaration, but is also one of Israel's main killing machine suppliers, I felt it was my duty to visit Gaza and the West Bank in order to understand the human side of this issue I have read and heard much about growing up. I urge all of you who hold precious US passports to travel to Gaza and see how your taxes have been spent. I urge all of you to see how the bombs which read "Made in the USA" have been received, and the effect these bombs have had on these people's lives. The mighty United States of America, with its estimated 1,000 military bases worldwide, from Japan to the UAE, to Diego Garcia, to Egypt, to Colombia, and so on and so on. The mighty United States of America, with its monopoly on the arms industry, did not merely allow Operation Cast Lead to happen. It collaborated in this crime against humanity. And whether we want to acknowledge it or not, the people of Gaza can never and will never forget this collaboration. This siege or blockade, whatever you want to call it, is merely another example of Israel attempting to play God with people's lives. Why has this siege become an accepted norm in the eyes of the public? That is the question. Because of the same media outlets who so dutifully counted the exact number of rockets fired from Gaza onto land those Palestinians were themselves driven from through murder and pillage. But of course, that's not something you get on Fox News. Context. I wonder if those same media outlets prior to Operation Cast Lead ever bothered to count how many tins of beans or pieces of bread were not allowed to reach the hungry bellies of Gaza. Furthermore, did any of those influential media outlets even bother to count how many American-made white phosphorus bombs were dropped onto the heads of human beings in Gaza? No. Our struggle is a struggle for public perception first and foremost, because there is a machine at work that wants you to believe a man with a rocket launcher, no passport, and no nationality is more of a threat to humanity than a state which has invaded and occupied every single country it borders with and is armed to its teeth with the most sophisticated killing machines on the face of this planet. These same media outlets want you to believe a man with a beard and a rucksack is a bigger threat to all humanity than the killing machines produced by LowKey and BAE systems every single day. Even the recent much-hyped quote-unquote dispute which took place between the Obama and Netanyahu administrations were not enough to even pause the abnormally cozy relationship Israel shares with American-made killing machines.